This year has been a good year for kaiju fans, with Godzilla getting an Oscar for the first time since its inception, to Godzilla and King Kong, the two giants of the kaiju fandoms, teaming up to fight they bootleggers. And that trickled down to even us anime fans getting an announcement of Ultraman Rising, and as well, one of my most anticipated animes of this year, Kaiju No. 8, which happens to be the topic of this video as well, which if you don't know, Kaiju No. 8 is from Shonen Jump Plus. And no, not that one, the new hip version, Shonen Jump Plus. And yeah, I know it sounds like its own streaming service, but this was Shonen Jump's attempt at trying to reach new audiences and trying more experimental things. And this is the reason we got shows like Spy X Family, Chainsaw Man, and the show we're talking about today, Kaiju No. 8, with Kaiju No. 8 actually being part of the big three in Shonen Jump Plus. So with giving you some of that backstory, it is no wonder that this show got its own anime. With all its other peers getting big anime that people have been clinging on to, Kaiju No. 8 being the more traditional shonen out of all of them, it truly feels like Kaiju No. 8 has the stage set up for it for success. But for some reason, it seems this show coming out of the gate has stumbled a little bit, but slowly is starting to pick up its pace. So I'm here to talk about some of them controversies and where the show is going, and if you should watch it for yourself. So to start off, let's get the controversies out the way, because I do understand some opinions and some weird decisions that are made at the beginning of this show, but I think people are kind of blowing them a little out of proportion. But the one that I do understand, but I don't think it's the anime's fault, it's more of the streaming service, is Crunchyroll, as for some reason they decided for the first time ever, hey, instead of just dropping the episode so you can watch at your own convenience, we're just gonna live stream it instead. Like, why? If I am paying for a subscription service, I want to watch the show at my own convenience, not yours. If I wanted to do that, I would go and get cable. But that was just a little itty bitty stumble and a little bit of drama that some people might not even know about. I'm just bringing it up because I have heard talks about it. But the one controversy that I've heard repeatedly with this is the art style of the show, as people feel like it's betraying the whole manga and saying that it doesn't look good. And honestly, I don't understand this drama one bit. And yeah, I can understand that it feels like it has changed a little bit, but honestly, to me, it hasn't changed too much. It's just the thing of, in a manga, you have to only draw one single still image. In animation, you have to simplify things so you can draw 30 of that same image, while also coloring, shading, drawing backgrounds. And in anime, there is a lot of things that change throughout these processes. Like, hey, when Bleach came out in manga, it looked like this. And this is how the show looked. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy the show any less. And One Punch Man looks like this, but when it came out on anime, it came looking like this. So to me, as long as you're showing the show an actual thing of respect, which I feel like they're doing, I think you're totally fine. I think this is really just stylized because the key animator in this is from Naruto and Fooly Cooly. So he adds a more slick, stylized approach, so that way later on when they want to do really action-packed animation, it's not gonna break the budget. So anyone saying that Kaiju No. 8 doesn't look good just hasn't watched Kaiju No. 8 yet, or is a Mappa stan. Which I have to say, like, hey, sorry, not everything can be Mappa, and honestly, I wouldn't want it to be. I like when anime makes its own identity. And the only other negativity really surrounding this show is how people say how the manga fell off, so the show's not gonna be good at all because of it, or it's gonna fall off, and this is a little more understandable. I'll get into a little bit more of this at the end, but I do want to say this to you now. A lot of people did fall off from the show because they had the wrong idea about it. For some reason, a lot of people thought this show was supposed to be the next Attack on Titan, which it is not. Attack on Titan is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, and this show, Kaiju No. 8, is supposed to be a traditional shonen. This show is more akin to Dragon Ball, Bleach, and Naruto more than it is Attack on Titan. It's a very light story with a lot of action, and that's what you're really there for, is to see things hit each other. I think a lot of people thought because it's people fighting big monsters that there was supposed to be that correlation, but honestly, the kaiju are not that big of a problem in this universe. The kaiju squads take care of business. So that's my disclaimer to you. Don't go into this thinking it's Attack on Titan. Please, for the God, don't do that. Now, let's talk about Kaiju number 8 and why you should watch it, as it does hit a lot of the great shonen tropes that you grew up on, like awesome action scenes that you'll have plenty of in this show, while also having cool power-ups and the character getting stronger bit by bit, while also having a great cast of characters that aren't that fleshed out or too in-depth, but fun enough and enjoyable and fleshed out enough that you will end up having some favorite. The show really does hit a lot of the shonen tropes, but it also has its own fresh takes on things, as I feel like this anime is aimed more for more mature audiences and older anime fans that grew up with the old classics, as the main character is in his 30s, that being our goofy shonen protagonist Kafka, a man that's in his 30s that gave up on his dreams and realizes that he made a grave mistake. Because instead of being one of the badass super soldiers that are able to take down kaijus, our boy is part of the kaiju cleanup brigade that has to clean up kaiju shit. Like, boy, they gotta clean this thing by the end of the week. You tell me how the hell they finna do that. So instead of being the person making the mess, he's the one cleaning it up. And just to rub salt in the wound, the person that he told that he was gonna go up and be a great soldier with is a top soldier, while he's over here being part of the cleanup brigade. And that slowly eats our boy up, realizing that he might have just wasted his life and he doesn't know if he still has a chance to make it. And it only gets worse as a new guy comes into work and starts kind of going in on him, saying that he gave up on his dreams, really nailing in that theme for older fans of being in a place or a job that you hate and giving up on your dream. And for someone like me, that still resonated. Even though I work hard and I'm chasing my dream, sometimes you get upset that you're not as far as you want to be. You keep trying harder and harder, and sometimes life just gets in the way. And this is metaphorically eating up at Kafka, wanting to do better in life, until these metaphors almost come reality when he almost gets eaten up by one of the most ugliest kaijus I have ever seen. But we need an anime going, so this is not the end for our boy, as the squad comes up and our boys are able to make it out. But this is just the prelude to what the anime really is, because once they get in the hospital, the ball starts rolling, as a kaiju forcefully makes Kafka deep throat him, as this man gives him that Glock 3000 no gag reflex. Oh my god, what am I watching right now? But after surviving kaiju, our boy becomes a kaiju himself. And I think you can see with his friend being the top kaiju killer and this guy being a goofball that this anime is gonna lead to a lot of crazy stuff, which it does off rip, from them having to flee the hospital to this guy finding out when he's in kaiju form that he pees out of his nipples. Yep, that's right. He pees out of his nipples. And for some reason, I feel like some of my fans have had a new kink unlocked. But after realizing that he still has a spark at him and also killing a kaiju as a kaiju, our boy realizes that he wants to go and retry out for the squadron one more time. And this is when the cast of characters will expand even more. And I'm not going to ruin too much for you. I do think you should go watch it, but I'll cover more episodes if you want me to. But I think this is a perfect time for anybody to really jump in. But I feel like it really resonated with me having this character being older. It lets it take a new path with the show, as it's having a guy who did give up on his dreams, who failed miserably, who didn't know how to go forward. But it gives you this hope of, hey, it's never too late to chase your dreams again. Yeah, you might be older. Yeah, time might have flown by, but you are still able to chase your dreams at any age, be it 20, 30, 40, 50. If you truly want your dreams to happen, you have one life and you gotta go for it. Before he even got the kaiju powers, he decided that he wanted to give this stuff one more try. The kaiju powers just add a little curveball and funniness and action into it all. But Kafka as a character, even though he can be silly and hides behind some of his comedy, he is a character that just wants more out of life and is tired of the same routine. But honestly, if you're a classic shonen fan, I think you won't be disappointed with this show at all. If you really just want to see cool action and a little bit of story, this is the anime for you. But I will say this, what I said earlier about the manga, because I feel like this is important to say to people who might end up trying to invest a lot of time into this. As the manga was really popular, selling over 12 million copies its first year, but those same sales have started to dwindle as the show has slowly become more redundant, as I feel like it's almost hit that same Bleach effect where seeing all these cool characters is fun and you can enjoy them for their limited personalities, but for a long-running show, it starts to get a little stale when the story isn't that impactful, as they don't really evolve the characters in the story, as it keeps pretty redundant with a training arc, then fight some monsters, training arc, then fight some monsters, and it kind of just gets boring. There's no real twists and turns or growth with it, and some mysteries in this show haven't even been answered to this day, and it really can get annoying. I mean, things that you're gonna have questions about from this first season might not be answered until season 3, honestly. But don't let that deter you from enjoying the show. Honestly, like I said, if you just want a show you can kind of just turn your brain off to and have something to watch like in the background or while you're eating, or just have something simple to enjoy with friends, go for it. Honestly, I'm enjoying it all over again, and I think you will too. As some people think that they're anime connoisseurs and they have already watched the peak of anime, so things like this are just beneath them, this show to me honestly is a fun watch, and I don't think you will regret watching it one bit. Yeah, on the latest seasons, it might start to fall off, but hopefully they know from the manga sales that they probably might have to change some things up. So here's hoping for a good future for this show. And if it does, hey, at least enjoy the ride until then. And if you want a show that has more depth in it, I would suggest watching this video where I cover a new anime that I'm really enjoying right now, and then you can learn a little more about it. I don't want to spoil too much. But until next time, peace.